Good morning. Welcome to the Carla Marie and Anthony show, but it looks like Carla Marie's not here. Camilla Marie with her Italian Seahawks jumpsuit.
It's not a jumpsuit.
A tracksuit.
It's a shirt.
That you look like you're wearing a tracksuit.
Also, you could have said Carmela. That's my grandma's name.
What did I call you?
Camilla. Like I would. Isn't that
Camila Cabello? I don't know. Whatever.
Isn't that a royal family member?
Maybe. So Carmela? Carmela Marie. You look like you're about to kill, I don't know, someone.
Listen, Aaron Andrews sent this to me.
I mean, it looks cool, but I think the lines down the side always give me like Italian or Russian mob tracksuit. You know what I mean?
I've been looking at some tracksuits lately because they're like coming back, and I'm thinking about it. Just saying.
A full tracksuit?
Velour.
Like what was the one? Oh, Juicy.
Yeah, Juicy Couture.
Is he gonna say Juicy on the
no,
booty?
Because I'm over that. But something made a noise. I put that on by accident yesterday.
Shield mode.
I don't know how to turn it off.
It says only visible to moderators, so it probably doesn't matter. I think shield mode is a way to protect the chat a little more. It's like hyper aware of what people say.
Avengers?
Yes, like shield. Here. I don't know what happens.
Right there.
Where is it? All right, we'll turn it. Oh wow, it pulls up like a whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not doing this now.
The chat is in slow mode too.
Carla Marie, what'd you do yesterday?
I didn't put slow mode. I only did shield. No, I took my allergy medicine.
So what? Oh, we're gonna have Snotty Marie today?
It's gone. All right, it says slow mode.
No, where does it say slow mode?
Everyone is telling us.
Are we slow or is it saying slow mode?
Take it off.
Oh, slow mode. There we go. Slow mode is off, guys. We are allowing first-time chatters.
Emote only chat, but clearly that's not what's happening.
Sub only.
It says
chat.
we're allowing sub only and emote. Oh.
Followers only makes sense because we're usually at 10 minutes. That way, if you follow us.
Oh man, was it not letting people talk unless they were subs?
I don't know.
Speak now.
Or
forever hold your peace.
There we go. Yeah, you did a lot of stuff here, huh?
I clicked one buy. BFC Pika.
Oh, here we go.
Are you allowed to say words or just emotes?
Oh, this is interesting. So chatters without a verified email must have accounts older than, let's say, a month or a week.
Week's fine.
That way you can't just like create a spam account. Chatters without a verified email must follow for more than
a day. Because they're going to follow.
Yeah, 1 day. Okay, cool.
I'm concerned that people are using emotes only. Can people try to use some words? I realized that yesterday was supposed to be our first Monday of the year.
Yeah, and we didn't even get it.
And we didn't even do it. It was emote only, but it's good now.
Okay. Oh, I can turn this whole thing off now. There we go. We're going to turn off shield mode for now until I fully understand it so we can actually do a show. Carla Marie, 23 subs, 1,100 bits. Hype train level 6 is where we got. What are we drinking today?
One of us is taking a shot.
That's fine. Let's move along here. Come on, Carmela.
Oh, jeez.
So that was your grandmother's name or your great-grandmother? Carmela. Okay.
I got all of her jewelry that sees.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's convenient.
Oh, this is the Lychee Lover from Seattle Cocktail Club.
Okay.
It has, how do you do that word?
Herradura?
Silver tequila
Herradura?
and lychee liqueur.
All right, let's do it.
I can only speak French.
Because you watched Emily in Paris?
Bonsoir. That means good evening.
Well, it's the morning.
Bonjour.
This is literally a morning show.
I don't know exactly good morning.
Isn't it bonjour? Or is that like hello? Bonjour.
I actually decided that I love the French language. I feel like people complain about it.
No, isn't it like supposed to be a sexy language or something?
Ooh.
Bonjour is good day, according to my brother who speaks a little bit of French, apparently.
Well, I know what I'm going to say when I meet any of your family from Montreal. Enchanté.
What does
It's
that
nice
mean?
to meet you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Most of them speak English as well.
Well, I'm certainly not speaking Arabic to any of them.
Vicky Vitz said, CM, I went to Sinners on Sunday, and it was delicious. Seriously, so good.
Send me a full report.
Sinners Steakhouse is Carla Marie's brother's steakhouse in Point Pleasant.
Where we did the final ever My Day Friday.
Yep.
Michelle. Can your cousin Michelle teach me French?
If you were a bartender, you would literally make $0.
No, they would come for the entertainment.
Oh. Well, then can you bring some of that entertainment here? Yeah, I'd like a vodka Red Bull. Okay, it'll be 45 minutes.
You're the only brother who can't speak French. What happened?
I didn't take French.
Oh, I thought your family taught you.
No.
Yeah, I didn't take French in high school either, and then all my friends went to Paris.
Well, I didn't think Justin took French. I thought it was just Michael. I thought Justin took Latin or something smart. Yeah, I did take Spanish 1 for 5 years. I talked about that last week. Oh, Justin took French as well.
All right, this is the Lychee Lover. SeattleCocktailClub.com/CMA for all of the recipes that we make with Seattle Cocktail Club. And we have some cool events I think we'll be able to talk about this week with them. I'm going to take it out of this and sip it that guy.
What?
I'm going to use this as my shot. I'm going to drink it out of the...
That's going to probably make it harder for you.
Oh, B-Delp's birthday.
Oh, yeah, we do have a birthday. Cheers.
Oh, wait.
Cheers, Carla Marie.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
I think we're going to have one of those on Thursday as well for Martha. That is pretty good.
Wow.
Now,
I'm going to go out on a limb here.
Yeah?
I think that was the best shot they've ever given us.
I feel like the last shot we took was also very good. But either way, good shot. Check it out, SeattleCocktailClub.com if you want the recipe. Also, we've got a whole list of things to talk about today that we got to jump into. Number one is the meow massage that Carla Marie had yesterday. Also, Carla Marie went out on a date while I was gone.
I did.
The last flight ever, I'll explain that. Hotel from Hell and Gentlemen's Club Etiquette.
Do you mean strip club?
It's a club of gentlemen.
Okay. I have to blow my nose.
And yes, I do mean strip club.
Yeah, but guess what?
What?
I don't think gentlemen go to strip clubs.
Maybe it's called the Gentlemen's Club.
Just kidding.
And considering she had the first thing on the list, now we just got to wait here. It is a full agenda today. Snot Queen Marie. Snot Queen Carmela Marie.
You know,
If you were wearing like matching, can you put on matching blue pants? You don't have navy pants?
I do have navy pants.
You should go put on navy pants.
All right, we'll do that for the end.
Okay.
Oh, no. Okay, whatever. It's funny you say that because lately I've been noticing every once in a while that I look like my grandma. Clearly not like old and wrinkly yet.
Yeah, you're not grandma age. Well, you are actually, you're at great aunt age, which is like akin to grandma
also,
age.
grandma age. Yeah, sure. There's a norm. My mom was 44 and was a grandma.
Yeah. But I'm saying you are already a great aunt, which is, I mean, it's one step removed from being a grandma.
Okay.
So you
But
are
I've been
grandma
noticing,
age.
I see it and I'm like, I guess that's the part of me that looks like my dad because it was my dad's mom. Because
Carmela?
I don't think I look like my dad. I think I look like my mom. But now when I see that, I'm like, oh, God. I do have that side of the family's cheeks.
Naz mom said you look like a figure skater, so I could see that as well. Anyone in a turtleneck looks like a figure skater.
Turtlenecks, let me tell you about them. They're coming back. And I
hate
struggle with
that.
them because this is a loose one. It's okay. I have another one. I wore it to the game on Sunday and it was cold, so it helped. But my niece got me a Skims one for Christmas. And the whole point of like Skims is like it's tight and it like sucks you in. But I put on the whole thing and I'm like, and she's
feels like
"You're
someone's
so
choking you."
dramatic. And I can't return it. So now I just have to try to lose 20 pounds to wear it.
Okay, well, good luck with that. Angela brings up something, a little fun fact here. In most Native families, she says, we don't have great aunts. They're considered grandmas. So, Carla Marie, Grandma Marie.
Okay, but in Italian.
In Italian, we wear tracksuits,
Oh.
and we name ourselves Mima and Nuni and Nuna.
Nona.
Nona. There we
Nona
go.
is what my sister's baby will be calling.
What you doing over there?
Your brother just reminded me to update my Instagram away message.
What does it say?
No live show today.
That's not important right now,
Sure
Carla Marie.
is. Okay.
Okay, moving on. The Meow Massage. What do we got there?
I booked a Zeal massage yesterday. That's in-home massage. So they come to your house and massage you. I used to do this a bunch a while ago, but just stopped. But my body was just aching. It got to a point because like standing all day, walking around the field, like on concrete, like, all that, it hurt. So I was like, I'm booking a massage. Do it for yesterday. The woman sets up in the living room, but as soon as she comes in, she's like, "Oh my God, you have cats?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I have two." We start chatting about cats as she's setting up. The second she opens the massage table,
Yeah.
Caroline jumps on
Of
it.
course.
And turns out she's adopted two of her cats and had a special needs cat that she had for a year before it died, all from Motley Zoo.
Oh, no way. That's
So
awesome.
I'm like, no way. And then she's like, "Oh, what is that?" And it's the little pool table I got for the cats. She's like, "I saw Don't Stop Meowing." And that's an Instagram account I follow. It's like a cat. She's like, "They have it." And Chase, their cat. I'm like, "Yeah." And Sky. We start talking
Oh,
about
boy.
these people's cats, right? She's
How
like,
many
"It's
cats do you follow?
a lot." She's
Okay.
like, "You should make an Instagram for them." And I didn't even want to get into it.
Okay.
But so I get on the massage table. She's massaging me, still chatting about cats. And she's like, "It's totally okay." Erica then is underneath the massage table. Only two to show up were Erica and Caroline. Max and John did their own thing.
Yeah.
She's now, Erica is trying to touch my face through the hole of the massage table,
Yeah.
which Caroline and Max used to do. Caroline sat on the couch watching the entire massage. Erica then, at one point, jumps on the table. She's like, "That's okay. I have customers. Their cat will lay in between their legs." I'm like, "Okay." I'm on my stomach,
Mhm.
and I feel on my hamstring and like kind of thigh licking.
She's licking your butt?
Erica's licking my leg.
Why?
And I'm like, I think she's licking me. And she's like, "Oh, it's okay. It's coconut. It's organic. She's fine." I'm like, "I know she's fine." I was like, "Erica, stop." And she's like, "It's okay." And I take her and I'm like, "Erica, stop." And I'm like, I can't see. So I go like this and I knock her off the table by accident. She's like, "Oh, poor kitty." And that was really the extent of my,
Okay.
It was still relaxing. I still got everything I needed out of it.
Yeah.
But I was like, maybe like a cat massage is a thing, a meow massage.
I mean, I guess.
Imagine
a
going
meow
places-
cafe, a cat cafe is a thing.
But yeah, she kept coming up to the table and wanted me to pet her. I'm like, "I don't understand. You need all this attention now?"
I'm glad you brought up Motley Zoo, though, because obviously Caroline and Max were named by Motley Zoo for the show Two Broke Girls. And the story that I did this morning about Frontier Airlines offering vouchers for these 3 kittens in Las Vegas. It's like the Las Vegas Animal Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
That foundation named them after the airlines in hopes of getting some publicity, and it worked. And it's kind of what Motley Zoo does with their animals as well.
They've got, was it did Billie Eilish do anything with them? I know obviously we've done stuff with Fall Out Boy.
And sometimes the artists will be in town and they'll post about those animals.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the whole point.
Who adopted, what's her name? Okay, the guy from all the Adam Sandler movies whose daughter had that song.
You mean Adam Sandler movies?
Yeah.
Not Adam's Family movies?
What did I say? Adam Sandler.
I think
Adam
you said,
Sandler movies.
yeah. Rob Schneider.
His daughter.
Yes.
King.
L. King.
El King. There was an El King dog, and I'm pretty sure she adopted it
Oh, that makes sense.
a while ago.
So, shout out to Motley Zoo for bringing Carla Marie and her masseuse a little closer. Although I don't think you need to be any closer to a masseuse normally.
Massage therapist and
What I call it?
masseuse.
Is that not a thing?
No.
Why not?
Most massage therapists say that word is actually offensive.
How is it offensive?
I learned that a few years ago.
I need someone to explain it to me, though.
Okay.
I'll say massage therapist, but I'd like an explanation.
Literally, that's what I've been told. I just do as I've been told sometimes. And I think she's going to come here more often. I think you'd like her
Why?
because, I mean, she got in there.
Okay. That's not what I want. Masseuse is the offensive word, apparently.
Sometimes this happens.
What happened?
I just got a shooting pain right here. I get them on either side.
Okay. Moving on, though, Carla Marie. Carla Marie's date. So I leave for the
I got so
weekend.
nervous for a second. I was like,
I leave for the weekend. Wait, so my brother Michael said it's not offensive as much as it's gendered. I thought, how is masseuse
all
gendered?
right, let's just stick on this for a moment so we can look it up because I only know because one of my massage therapists that would come to my apartment all the time told me this. And I was like, huh. Oh, masseur and masseuse.
Oh, it is. I thought men were masseuses as well. So it's not offensive, it's gendered.
Well,
and by calling them a
told-
massage therapist, it is no longer gendered, just like the example that Michael brought up in the chat, flight attendant versus stewardess. I always thought a masseuse was both people. Huh. Learn something new every day.
Is that French? I think it's French.
What are you looking up?
I wanted to see the.
Oh. Well, what? What?
Learn your French endings.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not. Listen, I'm trying to learn Arabic right now still, and a little bit of Spanish, and maybe Japanese down the road, but French, it's not on the list.
Yeah.
Diva Woman, thank you very much for the hydration reminder. Appreciate you. And Carla Marie, you got to talk about your date.
What's in that?
A little juice.
Well, I don't have water, and the people said to sip. No, did you clean this? Because it was getting a little moldy over the weekend.
It was,
Not a sink water.
oh, yeah, they're all sink water. Okay, now, come on, move along here.
So we have this neighbor. She's awesome. And she and I have been texting for over a year and have had very few conversations in real life, like on the street. And we'll like grab each other's packages. When my litter robot
What?
when my litter robot got delivered, I called her and I was like, Olivia, I have a giant box outside my house. I'm scared someone's gonna steal it. Can you put it inside? She took the whole box and put it inside
Okay.
the house. She's amazing. Over the holidays, she put a package inside and the alarm went off. She didn't realize we had an alarm. It was utter chaos for a second. She's been great. Love her. She's hilarious. But we basically had a text relationship for a year at this point. And a bar opened up here in Ballard called Rough and Tumble. And the whole idea is they're definitely going to show women's sports on their 18 TVs. But if there are men's sporting events going on, they're also going to show them. But
preference goes to women's sports.
right, but there's 18 TVs. So what are the odds that it's only
Well,
going to be women's sports?
That's what I thought originally. But then I was on their Instagram the other day and they were playing like college basketball games, track and field.
The idea is if there's a women's sporting event going on, you can come watch it in public. Where when we were there was gymnastics on. And I'm not going to get to see that anywhere else.
You don't even watch gymnastics at home.
No, I'm just saying, like, they're giving preference to women's events. So Olivia and I have been texting. We saw that open. I know she's really into local Seattle sports. She found out I got the job with the Seahawks by being on Twitter. Really had no idea what we do until, like, she started seeing that and started seeing your face on the Kraken shirt that is everywhere. She was like, I think that's my neighbor.
Yeah, I've been in the Seattle Times like a dozen times for that shirt.
Because I'm not like, hey, nice to meet you. I host a podcast on Twitch and blah, blah, blah with the Seahawks. I don't do that. Surprise. So we're finally like, oh, when this opens, we should go together. So I was texting her on Friday and I was like, oh, we got to plan our night out. And she's like, okay, I have some time, whatever. I was like, I actually have time today. She's like, me too. So we set out on our date. She drove. We walked out together of the houses and went there. We had so much fun. And it was so cool because it's like we'd known each other forever because we'd been texting. But we spent more time together Friday night than we have in a year of
course,
obviously, FaceTime of seeing each other. And we shared a bottle of wine at a sports bar. And it was so cool. It was just like getting to talk about everything. She was like, wait, so your family's on the East Coast? I was like, yeah. She's like, so how did you and Anthony meet? When did he move in if he didn't move in when you first did? I'm like, oh, well. And I start telling the story, and I was like, but we actually have known each other. We met, and she's like, what? And it was cool being able to tell like our story to someone that has no idea. And she said she first found out what we did when she used to nanny, and the kids came over one day. And she said something like, oh, my neighbor, Carla Marie. For some reason, she said my name, and the kids were like, from the radio? And she was like, what? And then she realized that my email signature, because we're on a bunch of emails, all the neighbors, she's like, wait a minute. Yes. And she looked, she's like, yeah, that's my neighbor. And it was just super cool. So when we get home, we park, and we're like, well, what a nice night. Hugged each other and went into our homes. And I was like, I feel like I'm in Friends or like a sitcom.
It's kind of like a college setup where like you have your own space and your friends live next door.
Right next door. Like 10 feet away from each other. So it was just a cool moment. And it was one of those saying you're going to do something for so long and finally being like, just do it.
I've got to get better at that. I make plans with a lot of people and we never like follow through. And part of that's my fault. Part of that's their fault.
Yeah.
I say it's equal parts.
Everyone does
Everyone does it. And I want to get better this year at saying, you know what, let's actually like put something on the books, you know, which is not what friends say to one another. But when you get older, you do, I guess.
But yeah. Moral of the story is if you've been saying you're going to do something, just do it.
Yeah. Next on the list, the last flight ever. So one of the reasons that we couldn't get on air yesterday on Twitch was because both of us were in different areas. So there were more moving parts. And for whatever reason, nothing worked. I was in Vegas. And I would consider myself pretty well traveled, right? Like I've gone on a lot of road trips. I've gone international. I've been on a ton of flights every year for the past 7 years.
Yeah.
I thought my flight down to Las Vegas was going to be my last flight. And I'm not someone who normally gets scared of turbulence. I don't love it, but I don't get scared of it. This flight from Seattle to Las Vegas is about 2 hours long. And it was so bad that essentially outside of like 10 minutes, the flight attendants were also seated and buckled and strapped in the whole time. And I realized that at first as we were taking off, but that's normal, right? You rock up and down a little bit as you're taking off. And I was trying to read. And I realized I was getting sick by trying to stare at the words. And it was
how
like,
were you moving? Like, was it like
and that was the
shaky
crazy part.
Or?
It wasn't, it was a little bit of everything. It felt like a roller coaster. There were times where I felt like I was going like this.
No, I would have
There
thrown
were
up.
times where we dipped. There were times where it felt like
Were they like dodging things?
I don't know. And I, at one point, was like, you know what? There seems to be a lull. Maybe we hit a smooth patch. Let me run to the bathroom because I really had to pee.
So you were probably a window seat.
I was a window seat.
So that means you had to make two people get up.
Yes. So I get into the aisle and things are okay. But I'm pretty close to the front of the plane. I have to go all the way to the back to use the peasant bathroom because we're not allowed to use first class. And halfway through, it starts rocking again. I'm like, okay, this is fine. I've handled turbulence before. I get into the bathroom now. And it's out. I'm peeing.
I'm nauseous thinking about
It's
this.
out and I'm peeing. And this plane, I thought the pilot was doing loop-de-loops. So at this point, I've got my hand, there's like I think it's for handicapped people. There's like an arm rail or whatever.
Or turbulence.
So I hang on to that. I got my other hand on the side. So I'm like I'm trying to like aim this thing with just my hips.
Like you're drunk.
Yeah. And I'm using my knees to try to like
No one can see what you're
push
doing. Maybe
against.
you should stand up and show us.
To like push against the sides.
So you're
that
spreading.
I'm trying to touch as many things in a airplane bathroom that I possibly can for like support.
I think people need the visual.
Well, I'm fine. And then so I finish up and I'm sure there was pee everywhere and I apologize.
Yeah.
But I go to wash my hands and now obviously if you're washing your hands, you can't hold on to things. So I'm trying to wash as quickly as possible and the plane is still rocking.
I would not have washed
And I thought I was going to bash my head against the mirror. Like that's how much this plane was rocking. I finally opened the door to get out And there's
They didn't
three.
tell you the seatbelt thing was on?
We were at cruising altitude.
No, but they tell you no moving.
No, I don't think they said don't go to the bathroom. So I opened the door finally to walk back down the aisle, and one of the flight attendants who's sitting in the back in their jump seats, I believe they're called, just looks at me. She's like, "Good luck out there." I know. And I almost crawled back to my seat. I was at a point where I was so low, I was grabbing like the chairs and trying to stay low and not. But there were times where I felt like,
Were your like legs getting?
you know, when you that feeling you get when you jump as an elevator's going down.
Yes.
There were times where I felt that like weightless feeling because of the turbulence.
The text I got from Anthony when he landed was
Yeah.
just touchdown. Thought I was a goner for a while. Almost had to crawl back from the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I said, bad? What? And he said, bad idea. Yeah, it was pretty wild. Thought I had a gap in turbulence, so I went to pee.
But yeah, that was the first time I think in my life that I flew.
Crazy.
And I was like, I don't know if this play. And the other thing, oh, that's right. Milwaukee was pretty bad.
Because we saw lightning next to us.
But the other thing that threw me off, so I was in an exit row. It was row 17. And the exit row I was like on top of the wing. You know what I mean? So I'm looking directly
so
out.
you see that thing flapping.
This thing, it looked like a pool noodle.
Mm-hmm.
It was just wacky, wavy, inflatable plane.
So were you thinking about the Hawaii flight as this was happening?
A little bit, yeah.
So while we were home over the holidays, a flight from Phoenix to Hawaii hit such bad turbulence, and out of nowhere, that was the problem. A lot of
Yeah.
people didn't have their seatbelts on, which moving forward, I will never not have my seatbelt
I
on.
always have it on.
People flew out of their seats, hit their heads, passed out. It happened so fast. They dropped the oxygen mask. Like several people went to the hospital when they landed, all because of turbulence. Like it wasn't like they crashed. It was just injuries that were sustained in the plane.
Mhm.
And now, if that was happening, I'd be like, oh my God, something's gonna happen.
And I will say, I think everyone was panicking on the inside a little bit, but no one like shouted, no one screamed. Because on the flight that we were on years ago, going from Seattle to Milwaukee, we had to land through a thunderstorm. And this was super rough turbulence for a very short amount of time.
Our plane did this at one point.
Yeah. And you actually heard people like gasp audibly.
Ramen Miracles. This was the flight that happened around the Hawaii flight happened around December 18th.
Mhm.
It was.
Yep. Speaking of Hawaii, and this, I texted a bunch of my friends this. Football makes people real weird. So if you don't know, the reason I was down in Vegas, the reason I took the flight originally, was to go watch the Raiders game. I have Raiders season tickets. My brother and I will go to the Raiders Chiefs game every year, as long as the schedule works out that way. And normally when I fly down to Raiders games, there's a bunch of people in their Raiders gear from Seattle on the way down to Vegas. And I was at my gate here at SeaTac, and there was a guy, full Raiders hat, full Raiders everything, hat, sweater, shirt.
Did you have Raiders gear on?
I didn't. I only have one shirt, so I packed it so I could wear it on Sunday or Saturday. Anyway, I saw the guy. We were standing next to each other, so I decided to make some small talk. Hey, you going to the Raiders game? He goes, "No, man, I wish. I'm going to Maui." I thought to myself, I was like,
I wish I was going.
I wish I was going to Maui. I mean, I'm happy I'm going to this game, but this guy was legitimately sad that he was going to Hawaii instead of watching a terrible football team get smoked by the Kansas City Chiefs.
By a team doing ring around the rosy on the field. I mean, can we talk about that?
Looks like there's a lot of Chiefs Nation people in here.
I'd rather go to Hawaii than anywhere because it's
Chiefs
like
Kingdom,
next
sorry.
on my list.
Hawaii?
Yeah.
Yeah. Next thing, though, we're going to move on. This is going to take you on a journey with me through Vegas.
Oh,
Okay? So
do we
that
need
was
more
the
drinks?
flight. We might. Then, and this falls on me because I didn't book the hotel until last minute, but we talked about this last week. CES, the Consumer Electronics
Summit.
show, was in Vegas, which is like the biggest event for that world.
Yeah.
Then the AVN Awards were also there, which is the Adult Video Network Awards,
Mhm.
and the Raiders game. So there were a lot of things going on in Las Vegas. So up until Friday, room rates were through the roof. So the night before, as I was trying to find a place to stay,
The night before.
I was like, why? Is it Showcase or Show? Showcase. So the night before, I'm online trying to find hotels, and all the hotels are crazy expensive. And I finally went to the Luxor site beforehand, and I realized the Friday night room rate was almost $600 before taxes.
It's absurd.
Every other night, Saturday night and Sunday night, went down to
And on-demand pricing should be illegal.
so Sunday night or Saturday night went down to $145 a night, and then Sunday night was $45 or something. So I said, okay, you know what? Since I want to stay at the Luxor for the game because it's super close, I'll just find a cheap place Friday night, and that's where we'll stay, and then we'll change hotels. So I happened upon the OYO or the OYO
What does it stand for?
hotel. I don't know.
Mm.
Used to be the Hooters Hotel, Hooters Hotel and Casino.
Has it been revamped?
No. If anything, they made it worse. This hotel,
I'm out.
when you get into the lobby, you're like, oh, this is an old hotel. They haven't really taken care of this.
Wait, Pale Girl Can't Draw just said, no, you didn't
Oh,
stay
I
there.
stayed at the OYO. They do have a Hooters still in the lobby, though, which was pretty decent. Yeah, and the OYO logo does look like the Hooters owl because it's like two big eyes and a nose.
Oh.
But I think it's a company outside of just that.
Our camera died, but we're still on. It's a podcast now.
Hold. I realized what I did here.
Oh,
All right,
Okay.
give us a couple seconds.
All right, while that's happening, it's turning back on. We're good.
We're going to be back in a second. Don't go anywhere.
Cheryl's right. You should have taken a blue light to the room.
Oh, no, I shouldn't have.
She said you would have thrown up.
Yes. So, okay, I think we're going to be back in a second. That's a good sign.
Pale Girl Can't Draw said, quote, it's a podcast now. Man, you guys are just hilarious this morning. If that's your, I think you need to go to a comedy show if that's what you think is funny.
We've set the bar pretty low. There we
Okay.
go. We are back, folks. Perfect. So, back to the OYO hotel. I checked into the room and went directly up, right?
Mhm.
So I get in, I open the door and said, okay, this is an old hotel, but it can't be that bad. I put my stuff down and I went to, you know how every
Okay.
hotel room has like a table, right? So I went to go put some stuff on the table, and this is where I knew this was a bad choice. It looked like they hadn't even wiped the table down.
Did it smell?
It didn't smell, but it clearly had people that were drinking on that table.
But did the room didn't
Oh no,
smell?
the room, it smelled like a hotel. It
I tell you
smelled
right,
fine.
first of all, there's a lot of things we need to unpack here. I'll let you finish describing.
Then I realized I was in an old hotel because it had a full balcony. Not a full balcony, but it had a full sliding door, and you could walk out onto this tiny balcony, which in most hotels, especially in places where you can gamble, you can't even
No.
open windows.
No.
And the sad truth is because people kill themselves after they lose a bunch of money. But this place, they didn't care. They were like, you're staying here. Life is pretty bad.
How much was this place?
For Friday night, it was $170, which every other place was $600-700.
Well, Claire just said she looked it up right now. It's $24 to stay there.
Yeah, but it was still, that's how expensive everything was in Vegas on Friday.
I can get eggs for more than $24 right
But
now.
then I made the mistake of being a human and needing to go to the bathroom
In your own hotel room?
in my own hotel room. And I'm pretty sure they imported the entire bathroom from a crack house because it looked like, you know,
Are there
when
photos?
No, I didn't take photos of the bathroom. First off, the shower head was like this big
Mm.
and like, I don't know, just looked weird. The bathtub looked like they had just tried to caulk it like before I showed up, but there was like caulk and plaster. And I feel like I have to say the word caulk like a real New Jerseyan.
Walk. Yeah, that's
And-
true. Miranda's right. Did you bring home bed bugs?
Oh, probably. I'm not itching. Although yesterday I was a little itchy.
Anthony,
Now that I think about it.
I swear to Christ.
I don't think I did. And I figured it was only for the night. But this hotel,
No, I would have truly, I don't know what I would have done because I wouldn't have spent $600, but I
Yeah.
would not have slept there.
yeah, that was the thing that I had to deal with Friday night.
Okay, a lot of messages were coming through when you said I was looking at hotels the night before.
Yes.
A lot of people were questioning the night before.
Why?
They could not handle the fact that you were looking up hotels the night before. And I would just like to point out that this is why I go nuts. Because a lot of times he's like, I'll handle it. And I'm like, but you won't. He's like, yes, I will. You
I
think
did.
I'm not going to book a hotel room? Not, I'm talking about for our own. I didn't even touch this one.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with me. And then he does it the night before. And then you stay at the OYO hotel where there's bed bugs.
I handled it. And I got the cheapest room rates I possibly could.
So this is why I handle all the hotel bookings.
So here's
and
the
I
thing.
make sure that they are like 4.8 to 5-star hotels because I don't like. I
would
will
not
have no
say-
problem sleeping in in a hotel room in another bed. I don't like sleeping in other beds because it grosses me out
I love hotels.
unless they're clean, fancy hotels.
I love hotels, and Luxor was fine. I'll explain Luxor in a second. I would not, to almost anyone, suggest the OYO hotel or the OYO hotel. It was terrible. That place needs to be demolished, condemned, demolished, and given to an actual hotel company, that land, because it was real bad. But I did save almost $700-800
Yeah.
on my booking.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, I think so. We were also warned. Well, it's not like I was in the hotel very much.
But you got this for your brother as a Christmas gift.
Yeah. We went to the Luxor after that, and it was fun. So the other part was Saturday morning before we went to the game. I obviously wanted to shower. It was the worst shower. I mean, it was either scalding hot
Wait, was
or
there a
freezing
curtain?
cold. There was a curtain.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a curtain. And I mean, I basically just like rinsed myself for 30 seconds and left. But the shower in the Luxor, top 5 shower ever. Perfect water pressure. So good.
As Kim just said, the savings that you saved from that hotel room booking will now be used on bed bug treatment.
Yeah,
So
probably.
if my cats get bed bugs, you're going on the street.
All right, deal. Yeah, no, I would not suggest staying in that place. I wouldn't suggest it to anyone. I will avoid it for the rest of my life. But you know what? Sometimes you got to live a little bit.
That's not living.
That's living.
That's the opposite of living. Living is like maybe if you were like, you know what, we're going to splurge this weekend.
And the last thing on the list, and this you can feel free to call. The number is 201-305-0894.
Before we get to the last thing, I do see a lot of people saying, are we going
Yes.
to talk about the Seahawks? Don't worry, we will.
Oh, yeah, we could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to take a break from Vegas and talk about the Seahawks?
Now let's hit everybody over the head with it at once.
Okay. So, last part of Vegas, and this is annoying.
Vicky said, OYO stands for on your own.
Oh, you know what? Don't call. Did you log out of everything yesterday?
Anthony, no. I didn't even. Really? I turned on everything and then everything went to hell. I didn't touch anything.
Okay. Well, we'll see. So, we've talked about this before. I have a friend who lives.
that.
What?
I hit that button. That's it. The button you told me to hit.
So, we've talked about this before. I have a friend who I used to work with in radio who now works at a strip club
Yes.
in Vegas. So,
She's not a stripper.
she's not a stripper. She handles like the VIP
VIPs.
areas and the cocktail service.
VIP is better.
So on Saturday night, we were texting back and forth. Didn't go there Friday. So you know what? Saturday, I'm going to go for a drink and I'll head out.
You went to a strip club with your brother.
So yeah. So my brother and I
I
went to it.
asked you if you were going to do that. And I said, will it be weird? And you're like, you act like I'm going to be getting strippers' butts in my face.
Yeah. I don't think it wasn't weird. Plus, I was just we were sitting at a table. Okay. So let me go back. Let me go back. So my friend wasn't going to show up to work until like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, I think, actually.
Okay.
So I wanted to make sure we got there afterwards, got in a taxi, went over to the gentleman's club. And she said, hey, when you get to the door, talk to Buddha and give him my name, blah, blah, blah. So I said, okay, no problem. I did that, but apparently you're not supposed to take outside cars to strip clubs.
Huh?
Like you're supposed to get a ride from the strip club because they have like limos that they send around Vegas.
But what if you don't see one of those limos?
So I don't know how that's supposed to work. And this is kind of the point. There's so many things that I felt like I was supposed to know about going to a strip club that I just didn't. So we get there And the guy says, "Oh, well, normally it's $50 cover. But since you took a different car there, like I've got to take care of my guys. So just give me $10 for each of you and I'll give it to the drivers."
Wait, so
To a different driver, I guess.
time out.
Yeah.
So you were spending $60 or just
No,
10?
no, just 10.
So him telling you there's a $50 cover.
He originally wasn't going to make me pay a cover at all.
Oh.
But since they didn't send a car to get me,
Or maybe they should just pay. I don't
know how it
pay
works.
their employees.
I don't know how it works. So because I took a separate car and I guess they had to like talk to the taxi driver afterwards because he dropped us off and then parked on the side and like came back to talk to the bouncers. I don't know what the deal is with taxis and strip clubs in Vegas, but it was confusing.
Are they supposed to make like a percentage of what you spend?
I don't know. I have no idea. So then we finally get in and I see my friend Kristen.
Did
and
you ask her?
At that point, we were past the door. I was like, I don't care. So this is where things got annoying for me. And the actual experience, like the guys who helped us out were super hospitable. Kristen was great. Drinks were fine. But as we entered, two dancers essentially latched onto us. I didn't even say hi to them. They didn't say hi to me. Nothing. They just started following me and my brother around.
Were they naked?
They were in like bikinis, basically. Lingerie, bikinis.
Were you
whatever.
like, why are these girls
Yeah.
following
So
us?
I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm also not trying to engage because I'm like, all right, maybe they'll like fall back or something. So Kristen walks me to this like VIP area and she's like, you can hang out here. It's a little quieter and whatever, it's not as crowded. Or you can hang out. There's tables outside and we can put you there. And the VIP area was nice, but it was like oddly quiet.
I've never been to a Vegas strip club though. Is it
It's not like going to Bada Bing. Or
right? So
Stilettos.
it's not. What about the place in Hoboken that we went to? Is it like that?
Not like that at all.
Okay, so I think you need to explain that to people that have only been to strip clubs in there.
They're really nice places. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to call it like high class. It's still a strip club at the end of the day, but you're spending a lot of money. This isn't like your local town strip club at all.
But it's not like there's just strippers on stage. It's like a
No,
club.
there is a stage.
I'm saying,
stage.
but it's a club. Like it's a big space.
Oh yeah, and there's like good DJs. It's massive. I
Okay.
mean, there were 4 rooms.
Okay.
Like, and I'm not talking like rooms to get dances in. There were 4 ballrooms essentially, and you
Okay.
could go to different places. And actually, yes, it is much nicer than the OYO hotel. I'll talk about one of the other rooms in a second. So I decide not to sit in the VIP area. And she walks us back out to the table and she says, I'll bring you some drinks in a little bit. I said, okay, cool. Sat down. The 2 girls who walked in with us sat down at the table. And keep in mind, I hadn't acknowledged them. Don't know their names, haven't said hi, nothing.
Well,
And they just sit down. And now I turned around and I said, oh, what's your name? to the stripper.
what do you do? Well,
And
I guess this.
I can't remember her name at this point. And then one of them sat down next to my brother. So they're making small talk. All right, well, I got to make small talk with this girl until hopefully Kristen gets here.
When I tell you, I would pay money to watch this conversation.
Well, I'll tell you all about it. So, oh yeah, the one that was sitting next to Michael actually sat on his lap. There were only 3 chairs. I lucked out, so my stripper did not sit on my lap the whole time.
Wait, you gotta get Michael on the phone.
No, he's working. So she's sitting down, and it's the normal. What?
He said she wouldn't even let me bring a 4th chair.
And eventually
I
a
can
4th chair-
imagine you guys be like, let's get another chair. And then being like, no. Like, you would think these women at this point in their careers understand when men are being uncomfortable and don't want
No, but this is part of the deal. So
No.
eventually a 4th chair actually did arrive, for the record, and she did not move.
Did you say the words my stripper?
Yeah, it was my stripper and his stripper. The one that sat. It's much easier than saying the one that decided to
They're
sit
not
next
like
to me.
drinks and appetizers.
No. But speaking of drinks, this is where I got a little annoyed. Because listen, I understand what you do at strip clubs. Women are there to make money. guys are there for boobs. And there's like a transaction that happens.
Mm-hmm.
But we sat down, and eventually a different bartender, or a different cocktail waitress came up to us and asked if we wanted drinks. So I ordered a drink, and then I heard the stripper that was closest to me order a drink. And then Michael ordered a drink, and the stripper closest to him ordered a drink. And I kept thinking to myself, there's no way. There's no way they're going to charge me for their drinks. I don't even know their names. I didn't offer. So she comes back. Sure enough, $75 for the first round, and then with tip it was like 90 something.
You work there. You didn't get an employee discount.
And that's the craziest thing to me. And that's the racket, right? They want to rack up the bill because then the cocktail waitresses make more money.
What a skit! You got roped into an MLM.
So I wasn't going, and plus I was there as a guest of my friend. So I wasn't gonna be like, guys, I'm not paying for your drinks. Like, get out of here. I was trying to be
But they're
as
working.
polite as possible.
I imagine.
So I did buy them their drinks, unfortunately. And then eventually my friend came around and gave us like a paper that said we had like a certain amount of comped drinks, which was
Then you
very
gave
nice.
that after, or you?
After. I already paid for my drinks at that point.
Hold on. Your brother Michael said that his stripper ordered Don Julio.
Yeah, they didn't order cheap drinks either.
So you literally got roped into like Mary Kay Cosmetics marketing.
No, because I wasn't trying to strip. That's not how that works.
And then they asked you if you wanted to work there?
So the night goes on, and it's still small talk, right? It's still like, oh, where you're from? How'd you end up here? Blah, blah, blah. So at this point, I'm like,
Well, what are their names?
I still don't remember her name, honestly.
Of course you don't.
But I remember all the other things about
Okay,
her.
what do we got?
So she's from Oregon, went to school at Arizona State, decided to dance then she dropped out of school. Now she's back in school as a nurse, her and the girl that was with my brother.
Rachel, as he said. His was
Rachel, yeah, I don't know, whatever.
This is not funny.
So then I find out they're both in nursing school together. They're going to graduate around the same time. And then she drops something about having because she was like, I'm going to take a pay cut as a nurse because I make really good money here.
Which is absurd.
But at the same time, she's like, I'm 35. I don't want to be a 40-year-old stripper. And I've got a kid. So I'm like, oh, okay. This is the next thing I'm going to start talking about is this kid. So I'm like, oh, you have a kid? She says, well, I have two. I said, all right, well, how old are they? And she said, well, I just had my second kid 7 weeks ago. And I was floored. I thought I guess there's no like maternity leave in strip clubs, but 7 weeks to go from like
Kid to bikini?
kid to bikini and then like grinding on dudes. 7 weeks. And she said
I
that
don't even know if you can open your legs that wide after 7 weeks.
maybe she doesn't drink water when she works. I don't know.
No, I don't.
Because then she would pee. So
I mean, like stitches.
then she tells me that her and the woman that was dancing with or next to my brother, the stripper next to my brother, had babies like 2 days apart from one another. So both of them had
This is highly offensive, but what did their bodies look like?
fine, normal.
Not like they just had a kid?
No,
Did you ask if they were stripping while pregnant?
I did not.
Are they
I thought
actual
about
strippers or are they just like
no, they were dancers. And then I at this point I'm like, I'm just gonna do an interview essentially. I'm gonna learn all about this profession. I'm gonna learn all about her life. So
it's me, Meech, who is a mom,
yeah,
said she was probably like still bleeding at that point.
I wouldn't know. And I could tell that she was trying to see if I was going to get at least a couple dances or something in like one of the back rooms. And I told myself going in there, I was like, it's probably not going to happen.
No, it's probably not.
So, and it's not that it's not like I'm too good for that. I've had lap dances in the past, but that's not what I went there for that night. I was like, I'm just going to go have some drinks, see my friend and leave. And I started asking her about her whole life, how she got into stripping, what she wants to do. And then I was like, you know what? I don't know. Because a couple of girls kept coming by and asking if we'd want to dance or whatever. So I decided I'd like to know from a stripper's perspective, what is the most polite way to decline a
good
dance?
question.
And I felt like by starting that conversation, she would also understand
That it wasn't happening.
that I wasn't going to dance. Or I wasn't going to dance. She wasn't going to dance for me or whatever.
Yeah, can I dance for you?
So I found out that saying I'm good is seen as like rude by strippers. Like when they come over to your table and you go, I'm good. Like that's not
Okay.
ideal. Ideally, what you would say is, no thanks. I'm not getting a dance at the moment.
But that makes them come back.
It probably.
You could say tonight, I'm sure.
Yeah. But then thankfully, by the time we were, a simple no thank you also works as long as you're like polite. And I think a lot of guys like my brother they feel like saying no thank you is rude. So they will say not right now.
And then they come
And
back.
then they just come back. And I got to a point where I was just telling every girl that came by, I was like, no, I'm good. Just having my drink.
There should
or
be
no
like a
thank you,
little
I'm having my
flag
drink.
you can put up at your table, kind of like
Like a rodizio.
yeah.
Yeah. Like the rodizio restaurants.
Explain for people what,
So rodizio is Portuguese, right?
and it's meat.
And it's meat, and they bring around these huge, much like a strip club, huge skewers to your table, and they just tell them how much you want.
But if you want more meat, you flip the card one way.
Yeah, it's usually like not a timer, but like a block or a card or something. One side is green, one side is red. If it's green, they come to your table. If it's red, they stay away. And that would be nice. A do not disturb sign, something like that. Oh, maybe I should have brought one from the hotel. Like the door hanger thing.
Okay, so
then we finally decide to leave. After
so how do you and your brother make the signal to leave while you've got each of your strippers attached to your sides and on
eventually
his
they
lap?
left. And I think after I had the discussion about how to tell them to leave, I think she got the point. And then my brother was gone for a little bit
Where'd he go?
to the bathroom.
Oh,
And-
sounds like somebody went to the dance room.
No. What? At that point, he was in the bathroom. The part that I'm talking
So you
about.
were just sitting there alone at a strip club and not
With
a
her-
single person came up to you.
No. And at the time, she was still next to me.
So you only had your stripper.
Yes.
Where'd his go? With him to the bathroom.
I left. So then, yeah, see? Yeah, my brother did go to the bathroom a bunch to avoid confrontation. So then she's sitting there. I think she realizes she's not getting a dance from me or for me, for whatever.
She's not.
I don't know how to say that. She's not getting money from me. She's like, I'm just going to wait here until my friend gets back. And then I hope you don't mind if I just hang out here. And I said, you can hang out wherever you want. And she was just sitting there texting on her phone.
In a bikini.
In a bikini, yeah.
That's the weirdest part for me.
Yeah.
Not weird that she was. For me, the weirdest thing is it wouldn't be weird if she was dancing, right? It's the fact that she was sitting next to a fully clothed person.
I mean, it'd be weirder if I wasn't fully clothed and I was also sitting there. So we decide to leave. And as I'm walking to the bathroom before I leave, we realize the DJ is in the other room and he starts introducing someone on the stage in the other room. Like we have a stage in kind of, 20 feet away from us. And there's like random strippers that would go up there. And he starts introducing, I guess, the AVN Award winner for MILF of the Year.
Oh, and you waited?
No, I didn't wait. She was in the other room.
Can you take a picture of it?
No, you can't. I don't think you're allowed to take pictures in strip clubs.
I don't think so either.
Unless you're like super rich and you're like throwing a bunch of dollar bills around, which I was not doing. So I go to the bathroom and I guess the MILF of the Year was on stage. Looked like a normal stripper, but
What's
good
her
for
name?
her. I don't know. The DJ, every now and then you could hear him, but every now and then he was also like, like that. But I will say this. Strip club music is the best music. Because it's always upbeat.
It's gotta be.
It's always fun.
Something you could dance to.
Yeah, it's just, if you could take DJs out of strip clubs and put them in regular bars and clubs everywhere,
I mean, I'm sure
they'd
it's
crush. They're so good.
Your brother said that one dancer started her pitch at $1,000 an hour.
Yeah. A full hour, I guess, is $1,000. And the minimum.
Well, an hour. I mean, listen, that's an hour. That's a workout. That's like a lot of work.
I mean, yeah, and you're naked. And there's demand for it. They wouldn't charge $1,000 if they weren't getting it. But a set, as I discovered, a set was, I believe, 3 songs or 15 minutes or something. But it was $100. So the math doesn't work out.
No.
Maybe it was less than 15 minutes.
Maybe you get more with an hour.
Probably. And then we finally decide to leave, right? So I go out and they said, hey, we're going to call.
First of all, I would like the people to know Now, this is the first time I am also hearing this story.
Yeah.
Didn't even know.
So we decide to leave, and the guy says, okay, no problem. I'll get one of our guys. And every time something was given to us or offered, it was always just make sure you take care of my guys. Make sure you take care of my girls. So like when I got the drinks, and this is something I knew I was going to have to do. When I got the drink vouchers essentially from Kristen, I knew I was going to have to tip the waitress anyway. She's bringing me my cocktails and I'm not paying for them.
Say, make sure you take care.
I don't, she did actually. And then as we were waiting for the car, the guy said,
kind of smart though, because then you feel obligated.
He said, I'll call you a car. Just make sure you take care of my guy. Make sure you take care of my guy.
So the ride is free, just tip?
Basically. But it was $25, which was essentially the same price as an Uber. But the best part was they couldn't find any cars for like 20 minutes. Because I guess they have a certain number of like black cars and limos that they just send around Vegas. They brought us a party bus.
Just the two of you.
And it was just me and my brother in this gigantic party bus.
Were you dying? There's no footage of this?
I did take video of the party bus. And it's just, I mean, it's a black party bus with like neon lights inside and couches.
How are you not posting this stuff, man? You're doing Vegas the wrong way.
So, no. I did Vegas the right way. I just didn't post anything. So we get to take this party bus back from the Peppermint Hippo, which is the name of the strip club.
That seems like an
Which
odd...
is a really cool, like if you want to go to a strip club in Vegas, go to the Peppermint Hippo.
Can you request to not have your own stripper upon entrance?
I don't know if that's allowed. And it was annoying because if I did want to get a stripper while I was there, they made it very awkward because I'd have to say no to them as they like followed me around the whole area.
Yeah, what if that was not your cup of tea?
Wasn't my cup of tea.
Oh, so...
I mean, they were not unattractive.
Would you have preferred a non-recently pregnant person?
Well, I didn't even know she was pregnant until she told, or recently pregnant until she told me, so that didn't really bother me.
Oh, Michael also said his stripper that was assigned to him was not his first choice.
Yeah, they weren't assigned to us for the record. They just started following us around. It was a really weird experience the whole time. But
listen,
still
I'll
fun
tell you
nonetheless.
what, these women doing the Lord's work because it's something I would never do.
Oh, you know what else I found out as I was peppering my stripper with questions? Because I knew my friend used to work at a different strip club in Vegas. And I asked, and she also used to work there. That's where they met. I said, well, which one do you prefer? And she said, I actually work at both of them. And she has a deal with, I think, 3 strip clubs in town. She can just show up to any of them. There's no shifts. She'll just show up and she could dance whenever she wants.
Imagine.
It's like kind of a cool work scenario.
But
I mean, granted, you're putting
insurance.
your butt cheeks in someone's face,
She
but
doesn't have health insurance.
probably not.
That woman, she probably makes what?
I mean, if you can make $1,000 an hour and you work from 11 p.m. to like 4 a.m., you're doing pretty well.
Like these women make well over $100,000 a year.
Most likely. I mean, some of them make $4,000 a night. Yeah. Oh, I also talked to her about OnlyFans because I knew.
How did that come up?
Because she mentioned the AVN Awards or something. And I said, I bet you. Oh, because she was also talking like the older stripper in the house. She was like, oh, those young girls, that's a young, whatever. And I said, I bet you a lot of the girls here have OnlyFans. And she said, yeah. And she pointed to the one that was with my brother and said she actually has an OnlyFans.
Oh, Michael, Rachel.
And this is how I found out she had kids originally. Because she was like, I don't have an OnlyFans. I said, yeah, well, you could make a crap ton of money, but at the end of the day, whatever you put on the internet, that's there forever. Whether there's a...
It's a podcast again.
How did this happen? Whether there's a paywall or not.
And then she said, what? I have kids and I don't want them.
And she said, yeah, exactly. I have a 3-year-old. I don't want him to grow up and have to see pictures of me on the internet. So, and no, I don't necessarily like them or dislike them older island style. I just didn't have a choice with this one. She just started
Why is
following
the
me
friend
around.
saying I broke this?
Well, because it was like working a second ago.
Well, things I would never do, be a stripper, because I can't handle talking to someone just for them to pay me. Like, I don't have conversations just because.
That's what you literally do for a living.
No. I mean, like, impressing someone and being like, okay, I hope this conversation goes well. They're going to give me money.
And that's still what we do for a living.
But I enjoy these conversations.
Yeah.
I don't think I would enjoy those.
You know what? I do. I'm someone who loves small talk.
Also, while naked.
That's the weird part. But I do love small talk. And I wouldn't mind it.
So basically, we're just strippers.
We're strippers that don't strip.
Would I go to a strip club? Well, no, Miranda, I prefer them coming to me. So at my sister's bachelorette party, we hired 2 strippers that came to our Airbnb. It was one of the most awkward yet super fun nights.
It's so much weirder when they're at your house.
Yeah. They were flipping us upside down.
Yeah. I don't think she may have been able to do that to me.
What? I would not. Listen, I don't want that. I would go with like a group of girls to like Thunder Down Under.
I walked by the entrance to Thunder Down Under.
This is going to stay a podcast?
I think we're just going to call it a day. We got
I didn't even get to talk about playoffs.
Playoffs? You don't know that soundbite, do you?
When you said it, it sounded a little familiar. Okay, well, anyway, the Seahawks are in the playoffs, and tonight I'm going to be at Tacoma Mall. I believe 4:45 to 7 p.m. is the event. You come by. It's an event with Washington Lottery, and there's like a scratch off. And if you buy the scratch off, you could be entered to win a trip to the playoffs this weekend.
Oh, cool!
In San
they'll fly you out to
they'll fly
San
you
Francisco?
out, or it's Seahawks post game. Postseason game. I'm assuming it's this one and not next season. So that'll be tonight, Tacoma Mall. I'll share information on my Instagram, but it's in the Macy's courtyard. So I'll be there doing some social media stuff for the Seahawks. And the game is this Sunday against the stupid 49ers. And Seahawks are going to win. And then Giants are going to win their game against the Vikings. And then Seahawks are going to play the Giants in New Jersey the next weekend when I'm there.
So you believe the top 2 seeds in the playoffs are both going to lose?
Yeah.
That are playing this weekend?
Yeah. I'm very excited. The game was
interesting theory. I'm for it.
So much fun. I got to host the Dachshund Dash, which was dogs. It was just good time.
Oh, W Plants said, place your bets, Carla Marie.
Mm-hmm.
And I did place a bet on behalf of Carla Marie. Now, we would split this because I was the one that physically made the bet.
I didn't know that.
It's a $20 bet that I made on Saturday before yesterday's game.
Mm-hmm.
$20.
Yep.
For the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl.
It's happening.
And if they do win, we win $3,000.
But only one of us is going to go get the winnings, you, because we can't waste all that money on flying.
I might have to go see my girl, whose name I don't remember. That's 3 hours I could pay for.
Yeah. And legally, I am not let me just clarify this. I am not an employee of the NFL or of the Seahawks or of their organization whatsoever. That is why we are allowed to place that bet in this
Plus,
household.
I made the bet.
Well, I think it's household.
Oh, well, whatever.
But I do not work away games. A lot of people are asking that, so I will not be at the game this weekend. If it does get down to Seahawks playing the Giants and I'm in New Jersey, I got to figure out a way. Like, that would be just so insane.
That would be awesome.
So
we are still a black screen, though, for some reason, because the GoPro decided to work for about an hour and 10 minutes today. We will figure this out, and hopefully by Thursday we have a full stream. But thank you very much for hanging out with us past 9 o'clock here on the West Coast.
Yeah, well, I'll talk more about the game on Thursday, getting to see Katie from The Bachelorette, all the things.
Peace out.